Good day. The purpose of this assignment is to help you create a Pareto chart in Excel. So your total quality management assignment, your first step is to actually create a fishbone or a cause and effect diagram. So in this case we have done that already. So we have an effect of unhappy guests in the lounge. Some of our effects include food wait times taking too long. We have a supply problem here where the guests wanted more local foods and so forth. So once you come up with your causes and your effect, the second step is to assign some frequencies to those causes. Again, it's up to you to decide which are the most frequent causes. And once you do that, then you can actually begin taking a look at the information you need to create your Pareto chart. So we can start a new sheet here, and we will have our frequencies from the cause and effect diagram we created. And we're going to start two new columns here, cumulative frequency and cumulative percent. Cumulative frequency is going to be all of our frequencies, but we're going to actually add up the accumulation of them all together. So in this case, our next one is going to be everything before it, which was 82, plus our current frequency, which is 50. And eventually we're going to So we're just going to add up all of them. Again, we're going to take the cumulative from the previous, which is 172, plus the current, which is 30. And eventually we should get 209 as our total cumulative frequency. And the reason why we get 209 is because if we actually add up the entire frequency, just so we can make sure it's correct, we should get a total of 209. The cumulative frequency is going to help us calculate the cumulative percent. Once we have the frequency, a cumulative frequency, we can simply divide by the total frequency. In this case, it will always be 209. Now, in order to keep that an absolute value, we'll just add a $sign there, and then we can simply auto-fill it up, and you can see we're simply dividing this number by 209, and we'll get, in this case, 209 divided by 209 is 100%, and that will give us our cumulative percent. Now once we have our cumulative percent and our frequencies, so these are the columns we're going to highlight, we can create the beginning of our Pareto chart. So we're going to start by creating a bar chart or bar graph, and we go and make it a little bit bigger so it's easier to work with. You can see right now we have a bar chart comparing the frequency and the cumulative percent. But now we want to actually change our cumulative percent, so we're going to click on that and select it. We're going to change the chart type, and we're going to change it into a line. We're going to pick one with markers on it so it will be easier to label our data points later. So we've created a line chart. However, it's still represented on this axis here. We need to use its own axis or a secondary axis so the line chart is easier to read. So in that case, what we're going to do is we're going to format the data series, or pardon me, we're going to, let's format the data series here. And you can see here, right now it's on the primary axis. We want to change it to the secondary axis. So now it's a little bit more comparable, easier to read. But also what we can also do is, you can see here, this is our secondary axis, and one being 100% is here. And since we know that 100% is the maximum, we're going to actually see if there's any way to format the axis. So in this case, we see our maximum is 1.2. We're simply going to make it 1. And that way it just helps us get a more appropriate chart. So now we actually have a pretty good beginning of the Pareto chart. The only thing I would ask is that you label your data points. Now in order to do that, simply click on your charts. So in this case, we want to click on the line chart, and we're going to look for add data labels. And you can see we can add the data labels there. Now you can play around with, if you want them on top or the bottom, or you can change the fonts and things like that. That's up to you to make it as legible as possible. I'm not too picky, but that's something you might want to be taking a look at. And we'll do the same thing for our bar charts. So again, we're going to add data labels. And again, you can see, so for instance, right now, they're on top of the bar, but perhaps we want to put them inside the bar, so we can maybe inside the end. Anyway, you get the picture, the Pareto picture, or should I say the Pareto chart. I hope this video has been helpful. I look forward to seeing your own charts soon. Thank you.